The final day of filming wrapped under a flood of harsh lights. As the crew erupted into cheers, Ethan slipped away. A single note was left on the nightstand in his hotel room. "I can't ruin your life. We shouldn't see each other. Let's just cut ties." Leo stared at the words for a long moment before crumpling the paper into a tight ball. It arced neatly into the wastebasket. He felt a cold, hollow laugh bubble in his chest. Last night, after the wrap party, Ethan had pinned him against the wall in the hallway, his kiss desperate and tasting of whiskey. Now, with morning light cutting through the blinds, the man was just gone. Fine. Coward. Leo methodically blocked Ethan's number, erased every contact, every trace from his social media. He moved through the motions of packing, his expression neutral. Life resumed. Within days, a flurry of photos and videos flooded the internet. Leo at a Lakers game with an old college friend, laughing on a Santa Monica pier with a producer, hiking Runyon Canyon with a group of actors. He was always smiling, always affectionate, calling every one of them man or bro with an easy, charming warmth. There was no sign of withdrawal, no hint of a heart recently cracked. It was as if the last few intense months had never happened. Then, Ethan showed up at his doorstep. He looked terrible, shadows like bruises under his eyes. He didn't speak, just pushed his way inside. Before Leo could protest, he found himself maneuvered onto the bed, his wrists secured to the wrought iron headboard with his own silk scarf. Ethan loomed over him, the scent of stale coffee and exhaustion rolling off him in waves. He thrust his phone screen inches from Leo's face, a chaotic scroll of images. Leo with this friend, that colleague, all casual intimacy. His voice was a ragged scrape. "Tell me, how many of them are there? How many bros do you actually have?" Working opposite Ethan Chase had never been in Leo's career plan. By all public metrics, they were rivals. The origins of the feud were foggy, lost in the echo chamber of online fan wars. If Leo wore a similar jacket to one Ethan had been photographed in, the internet would erupt. If Ethan echoed a phrase Leo once used in an interview, the hashtags would trend. Their respective fan bases operated with a militant fervor, each camp convinced the other was a blight on the entertainment industry. Leo had tried to clarify early on. He'd given polite, dismissive interviews. Changed nothing. His fans praised his professionalism, calling him class personified. He suspected Ethan's camp said the same about him. So they'd stopped. They let the narrative run, a predictable rhythm of weekly scandals. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays often belonged to Leo. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays were Ethan's domain. Sundays, by some unspoken truce, were quiet. Everyone needed a day off before the new week's battles began. So, when his agent called about the two-lead limited series, his reaction was strangely calm. He saw the headlines already, a 7-day cycle of their entangled names. He was leaning toward declining when his phone buzzed with a torrent of messages from fan accounts. "Go for it, Leo. Outact him. Show everyone what real talent looks like. This is your moment. Crush him with your craft. We believe in you." He was an actor trained and seasoned. Ethan was a pop idol who'd transitioned into film. The acting challenge was, frankly, negligible. The absurdity of his fans' chosen battlefield almost made him smile. Then his agent called again. Ethan had accepted. His fans' rallying cry was apparently to have him outshine Leo with sheer presence. Well, if it was a war they wanted, he'd give them one. The first table read was held in a sterile conference room overlooking downtown. Ethan was already there, a tall, tense figure silhouetted against the glass. He saw Leo and stood up abruptly. He was even taller in person with a sort of charged stillness. Leo extended a hand, his voice smooth. "Hey man, good to finally meet you." A flicker of something, surprise, crossed Ethan's sharp features. His response was a beat too late. "Yeah, you too." Their handshake was brief. Ethan's hand was large, tanned from some recent vacation, fingers calloused, maybe from guitar strings. Leo's own hand seemed slender and pale in comparison. A fact the director, a vibrant woman named Mara, noticed instantly. God, the visual, she breathed, leaning forward. We have to get a shot of just your hands. The contrast is intense. They both pulled away as if scalded. Leo caught the flush creeping up Ethan's neck. Interesting. The guy seemed thrown. Leo's own heart was doing a frantic tap dance against his ribs, but his face, he knew, was a placid mask. The first point, however small, felt like his. Their initial scenes together were stilted, wooden. Mara called them into her office after a particularly painful take. This isn't working, she stated, blunt. You two have the chemistry of two strangers at a DMV. Which you are. So we're fixing it. You're sharing a suite. Starting tonight. Eat together. Breathe the same air. Figure out how these two men fall in love. You have 48 hours to stop being polite and start being believable. They protested in unison, but Mara was already shooing them out. Ethan broke the stunned silence in the hallway. His voice was low. I saw your luggage. You're in a corner suite. I'll move my things there. Leo simply nodded, his mind already racing ahead to the single, king-sized bed he'd noted in his room. The hours blurred. By 10 p.m., Leo was in pajamas, staring at the bathroom door, behind which the shower was running. He was contemplating the ridiculousness of the whole situation when the door opened. Ethan stepped out, a towel slung low on his hips, water glistening on his chest and shoulders. Leo's brain short-circuited. In one fluid, panicked motion, he dove onto the bed and yanked the duvet over his head. He heard a soft chuckle from the doorway. Heat flooded his own face, buried in the dark cotton. A moment later, the other side of the mattress dipped. Leo peeked out. Ethan was kneeling on the bed, reaching for a pillow. Still awake? Ethan asked, a smirk playing on his lips. Obviously, Leo muttered, just grabbing this. I'll take the sofa. Leo glanced at the small, chic love seat in the corner. It was barely suitable for sitting, let alone for a man who had to be 6'3" to sleep on. The nights were cool, the central air conditioning a constant hum. It was a recipe for a stiff neck or worse. He sighed, the sound exaggerated. Just stay on the bed. It's huge. We don't have time for this avoidance dance. We get comfortable, we get the job done, we go our separate ways. Simple. Ethan didn't argue. He slid under the covers, lying stiffly on his back. So how do we get comfortable? Leo grabbed his tablet, pulling up the script adaptation notes. He scanned for a relevant scene. They share a bed for the first time. Michael curls around James from behind, their bodies fitting together. James feels enveloped, secure. He blinked. He'd read the broader strokes, not these intimate details. Ethan, curious, took the tablet from his limp hand. He read the passage, his expression unreadable. Oh, I see. He set the tablet aside, then turned. In one decisive motion, he hooked an arm around Leo and pulled him backward, flipping him so Leo was facing away. Then he settled in, his chest against Leo's back, one heavy arm draped over his waist. Night, Ethan murmured, his breath warm against Leo's ear. A full-body shiver raced through Leo before he could suppress it. Ethan's chuckle was a low vibration against his spine. You're jumpy. Shut up, Leo grumbled, trying to twist around. I bet your ears are bright red. You're not exactly cool about this either. The arm around him tightened. A leg slid over his, pinning him gently. I'm not. But we have to get used to it. For the scenes. Consider it exposure therapy. Leo stopped struggling. He was right. The air in the room was chilled, but the heat from Ethan's body was immediate and solid. Against all odds, lulled by that warmth and the steady rhythm of breath against his neck, Leo fell asleep. He woke up tangled. Sometime in the night, he'd turned. They were face to face now, Ethan's arm still under him, Leo's leg hitched over Ethan's calf. The proximity was shocking in the gray dawn light, and undeniably physically evident. Leo tried to shift back, but the movement woke Ethan. His eyes fluttered open, bleary and unfocused. He pulled Leo closer instinctively, eliminating the last millimeter of space between them. Leo froze. Every nerve ending screamed. Ethan's eyes cleared. Then, a spectacular blush exploded from his collarbone to the tips of his ears. He released Leo and scrambled back, sitting up. Sorry. Morning of fog. He was already pulling on a sweatshirt. Go back to sleep. There's a diner down the street. I'll get breakfast. Any allergies? Things you hate? Mushrooms? Cilantro? Bell peppers? Tofu? Leo recited, his voice slightly strangled. Ethan paused. That's specific. I have opinions, right? Explains why you're so. He gestured vaguely at Leo's form under the sheets. I'm 6'1", Leo shot back, indignant. That's not small. You feel compact, Ethan said, almost to himself, as he headed for the bathroom. Solid. Easy to hold on to. The door shut, leaving Leo fuming. The aloof, untouchable pop star was annoying. He remembered then that his friend Silas was dating someone from Ethan's old band. He sent a quick text. The reply came almost instantly, but not from Silas. Hi, this is Jamie. Silas is still sleeping. Saw your question about Ethan. He's a good guy. Really decent, generous. But he gets in his own head sometimes, overthinks things. If he steps on your toes, please cut him some slack. I heard about the project. Look out for him. Okay? Leo typed a quick, polite thanks. The director's strategy against all logic worked. Proximity bred familiarity. The awkwardness melted, replaced by a quiet, focused camaraderie. The script pages began to feel like blueprints they were building together. Then they reached the first kiss scene. Two men with precisely zero practical experience. Mara took one look at their panicked rehearsal and sent them a link to a folder of classic film scenes. Homework. 2 days. Figure it out. That evening, the hotel room was thick with a new kind of tension. Finally, Leo pushed off from the wall he'd been leaning against. Okay. Enough. He held out a hand. Ethan took it, his palm slightly damp. Leo pulled, tumbling them both onto the mattress, and straddled Ethan's hips. Did you watch the clips? Ethan's throat worked. Yeah. Get it? No. Let's try. Leo closed his eyes and bent down. The kiss was clumsy, a dry press of lips. He was about to pull back and suggest they analyze the mechanics when Ethan's hands came up, one cradling the back of his head, the other splaying on his spine, holding him in place. Then, with a surge of motion, Ethan reversed their positions. Leo's eyes flew open. Ethan's hand covered them. Closed them. Leo obeyed. Open your mouth. He did. And then he was lost. The world narrowed to sensation. The slick heat of Ethan's mouth, the scrape of stubble, the dizzying pressure of a body aligned perfectly with his own. When Ethan's hand slid under his shirt, skating over his ribs, Leo made a weak sound of protest, finally finding the strength to push at his shoulder. Ethan broke the kiss, breathing raggedly. He buried his face in Leo's neck, his whole body tense. Sorry. Give me a second. Leo understood what he needed a second for. He lay perfectly still, the reality of their shared arousal a tangible thing in the quiet room. That was educational, Ethan muttered against his skin. Leo covered his own eyes with his forearm. Man, are you sure you're straight? He felt Ethan go rigid. Pretty sure, came the muffled reply. But, biology. Especially when he didn't finish. He didn't need to. The kiss scene filmed the next day was met with stunned silence from the crew. One take, Mara finally said, a slow smile spreading across her face. I'm impressed. You two are fast learners. Leo caught Ethan's eye across the set. They both quickly looked away. From then on, the work was fluid. They developed a silent rhythm, often rehearsing the more intimate moments in the privacy of their suite, a practical, unspoken pact to ensure the filming day went smoothly. It became routine. The night before a particularly demanding scene, one that required specific choreography, Ethan returned from the hotel gym with a small bag. Leo was curled on the large, plush sofa Ethan had ordered for the room weeks prior, complaining the old one was unfit for human habitation. "What's that?" Leo asked, not looking up from his game. "Pomegranate. You said you liked the seeds but hated the mess." Leo made a face. "Too much work." Ethan washed his hands, sat beside him, and began carefully splitting the fruit, extracting glistening clusters of seeds into a bowl. He held a spoonful to Leo's lips. Leo ate it, then opened his mouth for more, a silent demand. "You don't hate it. You're just lazy and picky," Ethan observed, feeding him another spoonful. "Said you hated mushrooms, but you devoured the stuffed ones at Kraft. Said no tofu, then ate an entire portion of mapo tofu. Cilantro is a soap weed until it's in your pho. You just don't like prep work." Leo accepted another mouthful. "Stop talking." When the bowl was empty, Ethan set it aside. "How much longer are you playing?" "Why? Tomorrow's scene. We should run it." Leo's thumb slipped. His character on screen died with a pixelated cry. He tossed the controller aside. "Now's fine. I'll shower first." He stood, but Ethan was right behind him. "What are you doing?" "Shower's big enough for two. Save time." Leo planted a foot on his chest and pushed him back. "Get out." By 11, they were in bed, a foot of tent space between them. The scene's requirements were explicit, its mechanics leaving little to the imagination. Leo cleared his throat. "Maybe we should just wait for Mara's direction tomorrow. If we practice wrong, it'll just mess us up. We should rest." Ethan turned onto his side, studying him. Then he reached out, hooked a hand behind Leo's neck, and drew him into a deep, consuming kiss. It was different from their practiced ones, less technical, more hungry. When Leo felt the situation tipping past the point of rehearsal, he pushed against Ethan's chest. "Ethan, we can't. If we..." Ethan kissed him again, silencing him. His hand guided Leo's down, under the waistband of his sweatpants. His voice was rough, pleading against Leo's lips. "I can't stop. Help me?" Leo didn't pull his hand away. The next day's filming was seamless. One perfect take. Mara praised their commitment, their willingness to vulnerability for the art. Leo sat in a folding chair, his cheeks burning, thinking that vulnerability was a gentle word for what had transpired the night before. The wrap party was a blur of noise and champagne. Ethan drank with a determined, joyless intensity. Leo ended up half-carrying him back to the suite, Ethan a weeping, clingy weight against his side. "What do I do?" Ethan slurred, his face buried in Leo's neck. "What am I supposed to do now?" "About what?" Leo grunted, trying to maneuver the keycard. "I don't want to leave you. Leo, I don't..." His arms were vices. "What do I do?" The words sent a fierce, secret joy through Leo. He wasn't alone in this feeling. These months had transformed them. Ethan had been attentive, observant, catering to Leo's whims with a quiet devotion Leo had grown addicted to. And somewhere in the mess of pretending, Leo had started feeling something terrifyingly real. "Ethan," he began, his voice soft. "Maybe we could try." Ethan lifted his head, eyes glassy. "Try what?" Before Leo could clarify, Ethan pinned his wrists and kissed him. What was proposed as a single kiss spiraled into an hour on the couch, Ethan mapping Leo's skin with his mouth with a desperate, possessive intensity. Leo woke alone, aching and branded with evidence of the night. Ethan's suitcase, his toiletries, his presents, all gone. A cold breakfast sat on the table beside another note. The same words. "I can't ruin your life." Leo smiled, a cold, brittle thing. He picked up his phone. A single text. "Where are you?" The red exclamation mark was immediate. Message failed. He laughed out loud. Fantastic. He was really something. An hour later, showered, meticulously groomed, his emotions locked down tight, Leo checked out. He crumpled the note without reading it again and dropped it into the first trash can he passed. It meant nothing. So he'd lost a pet. That was all. Back in his Los Angeles home, he embraced the quiet. He declined new roles. When his friend Silas called, inviting him as a guest on a lighthearted variety show he was hosting, Leo agreed. It was time to re-enter the world. On set, he greeted Silas with a backslapping hug. "Man, I missed you. My kitchen's been lonely." Silas laughed, his face tanned and happy. "Yeah, right. I've seen the pics. You've been eating fine." During a challenge where guests had to carry their friends, Leo watched other pairs, mostly women or smaller men. Silas was only an inch taller than him. "Don't worry," Silas grinned, flexing. "I've been hitting the gym." The next moment, Leo was swept off his feet. He let out an undignified yelp, then laughed, clinging to Silas's shoulders. "Bro, you're a beast. My hero." During a break, Silas pulled him aside, his expression turning serious.
Okay, spill.
"What's with the new vibe?" "You're all." He gestured vaguely. Leo shrugged.
No vibe.
Silas wasn't buying it. He dragged Leo toward a secluded area used for outdoor segments. "You're asking for trouble. What's going on? Is it him? The co-star?" Leo's breath hitched. "It's nothing. He ghosted me. Said we needed space. So I'm taking space." Silas studied him. "So what? You caught feelings for real, or is this just post-show blues?" Leo looked at the manicured grass. "I thought it was real." He left. "So it doesn't matter. The world's full of people, you know? If I've expanded my horizons, there are options." He threw himself into a social whirlwind. Beach bonfires, weekend trips to Vegas, charity galas. Photos and videos surfaced constantly. Leo grinning with a tech CEO on a yacht. Leo playfully arm wrestling a fellow actor at a bar. Leo calling a famous director the coolest dude in a behind-the-scenes clip. A hashtag trended, Leo Squad. Another followed, everyone's bro, compiling clips of his easy, affectionate camaraderie with dozens of different men. He didn't see it as flirting. It was just his way. He was the little brother of his social circle, and they spoiled him. Then the variety show aired. The clip of Silas lifting him, Leo's laughter and shouted praise, went viral. The secret talk in the garden segment was aired for maximum intrigue, sparking rumors of a romance between the two of them, both having played roles in similar projects. Leo knew Silas was in a long-term, discreet relationship with the reclusive actor Cashin. This was a problem. He called immediately. Cashin answered, his voice calm. "I've seen it. I trust him. The internet invents drama. Besides, a dry chuckle, you two would be a logistical nightmare. Silas is too set in his ways for that." Leo heard Silas yell a fond insult in the background before the call ended. A pang of envy, sharp and sudden, struck him. That kind of easy security. He bought a six-pack of craft beer on the way home. As he fumbled with his keys, a figure detached itself from the shadows by his door. Ethan. He looked hollowed out. Leo felt nothing but a faint irritation. "What do you want? Finished your little detox?" He didn't wait for an answer, unlocking the door and walking in, leaving it open. He cracked open a beer, took a long swallow. Ethan followed, closing the door softly. "You're drinking alone?" Leo shrugged, finishing the can. "Celebrating. Got myself a boyfriend." Ethan went very still. "What? Oh, you missed it? Been off-grid." "Huh?" Leo's tone was light, conversational. "They released this cute clip of me and my guy having a private chat in a garden. You should look it up. He's great. Really handsome." Ethan crossed the room in 2 strides, grabbing Leo's arm. I told you to take time, to figure things out. I did. Leo met his gaze evenly. I figured out I don't have feelings for you. I have a boyfriend now. Is there an issue? No, Ethan said, voice cracking. No, that's not right. That's not how it was supposed to go. How was it supposed to go, Ethan? Leo's patience snapped. You vanish. Leave a note like you're some tragic hero saving me from myself, and I'm supposed to pine? I'm a grown man. I don't need you to define my right path. Who are you to decide that? I was trying to protect you. The words burst out of him, raw and anguished. This life, it's hard. I didn't want you to choose it just because of me. I thought if I left, you'd go back to normal. And now I have, Leo said coldly. Just not the way you pictured. The door's there. See yourself out. Leo, please. Desperation clawed at his voice. You liked me. I know you did. I thought I was doing the right thing. If I'd known. You should be with me, not him. Leo stared, genuinely astonished. Your grand plan was to abandon me, and then have me wait around, faithful and alone, for you to maybe come back? That's pathetic. He saw the devastation wreck Ethan's face. A sudden, weary compassion washed over him. He stepped forward and wrapped his arms around Ethan's rigid frame. One last time. On the last night, he said quietly, his mouth near Ethan's shoulder, I was sure. I wanted to try with you. You left. It hurt. Then I realized, maybe I just like men. Not specifically you. See? He leaned back, offering a small, convincing smile. I'm happy now, so you can stop blaming yourself. You didn't break me. You just pointed me in a general direction. Ethan searched his face, his own a mask of confused agony. You're happy? With him? Leo nodded. Ethan's shoulders slumped. Then, okay. I understand. He turned and walked out without another word. Leo drank all the beers. He let the numbness settle. Even if the feelings were real, Ethan was a flight risk. Leo wanted permanence, not a gamble. The next morning, his phone shattered the peace. It was Silas. What in the world did you say to your ex-co-star? Leo's stomach dropped. Why? He showed up at our house at 7 a.m. Called me a cheating bastard. Demanded I break up with Cashin. For you. Leo was already pulling on jeans. Oh God. I'm so sorry. I was angry last night. I used you as a shield. Is he still there? Yeah. Cashin punched him. He's sulking on the sofa with an ice pack. Leo arrived to find Ethan looking young and bruised on a white linen couch. Cashin stood with a protective arm around Silas, who looked more amused than angry. Okay, Silas announced like a referee. Summit meeting. He pointed at Leo. He has decided to be my secret side piece. My modern-day courtesan. My husband is aware and approves. So he turned his finger to Ethan. What exactly is your problem? Leo's mind went blank. He saw the same processing failure flicker across Ethan's face. After a long, stunned silence, Leo took Ethan by the elbow and guided him out. The drive back was silent. Inside Leo's apartment, as Leo turned to speak, Ethan's knees hit the hardwood floor. Leo jumped back. What are you doing? Give me a chance. The tears were already falling. Please, don't be with him. Be with me. I messed up. I was scared. This road is so damn hard, and I didn't care for myself. But the thought of you regretting it, of you hating me someday, panicked. I'm a coward.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. I can't stand this. He wept, his body shaking with the force of it. The performance was too raw, too broken to be anything but real. And in that messy, ugly display of regret, Leo felt the ice around his own heart finally thaw. Maybe the gamble wasn't so foolish after all. He nudged Ethan's thigh with his toe. We'll see. From that day, Ethan became his shadow. He brought coffee exactly how Leo liked it, remembered his dry cleaning, massaged his shoulders after long days. His one recurring, nagging question, asked with hopeful puppy dog eyes every single day, Did you break things off with Silas? Leo would shake his head. So, am I the side piece now? Leo would roll his eyes. This continued for a month. One evening, Leo was engrossed in a game. Ethan was feeding him slices of mango. When the last piece was gone, he asked softly, "Did you break things off with Silas?" Distracted by a boss fight, Leo muttered, "Yeah, fine. Whatever." Ethan shot up, his face alight. "So I'm promoted? I'm not the secret anymore?" "Sure," Leo said, eyes on the screen, a private smile touching his lips. The guy was so transparent, so easily managed. Even if this all went south, the power balance felt securely in his favor. He'd be the one walking away unscathed. He had assumed the dynamic of grateful servitude would last. He was wrong. He woke one Saturday to the familiar feel of silk securing his wrists to the headboard. Ethan was leaning over him, eyes bloodshot, dark circles like smudges of charcoal. He'd clearly been up all night. He shoved his phone in Leo's face, screen after screen of Leo with various men. His smile bright, his terms of endearment casual and plentiful. His grip on Leo's chin was fierce. "How many?" he demanded, voice thick with sleepless jealousy. "Tell me the truth. How many brothers do you actually have?" Leo rested his chin free. Then he leaned forward and caught Ethan's accusing finger between his teeth, biting down just enough to sting. He spoke around it, the words blurred but clear. "I've got lots of brothers, but there's only one." He released the finger, his gaze locking with Ethan's burning one. "One very good boy who gets to be with me." Ethan's anger dissolved into stunned wonder. Then he was kissing him, deep and claiming. All earlier fury transmuted into a desperate, relieved passion.